Hey Ashley, welcome back. How's everything?
It's alright.
All right.
Just been stressed with school and just thinking about having to move that whole process.
Okay, and how's that going?
Honestly, shitty.
Okay.
But
What's making that? What's making it like that?
well, one, I'm just overly stressed with school. At least I'm almost done with that.
Okay, that's
So
awesome.
That is gonna be a whole relief. But I don't know if I mentioned it to you that I had considered moving out with a friend. I don't know if I even.
No, we
brought that
didn't.
up.
And that's what I wanted to backtrack. So, being that this is our last session, I just wanted to kind of follow up with you with how things have been going. I know you had mentioned that you and your boyfriend were having some issues, but you guys had reconciled and made things, better. But we didn't really. I wanted to touch bases about where we were in regards to your living situation. What was the decision that you decided that you wanted to make for yourself?
Well, I decided I'll just find. What I decided was I'll reach out to my friend
Okay.
who I know has been wanting to move out, and I decided to give him a chance.
Okay.
I was like, all right, I need to move out. Do you want to move out with me? I was like, all right, if I find a roommate, it'll be easier, you
Right.
know, like.
Cost of living, we're
Right.
going to split it.
Exactly. So he wasn't somebody I wanted to move out with because I know him. That's my best friend, and he's a hot mess.
Okay.
I just know he is, and
Okay.
he's not good with money and just managing himself. But this was also him a couple years ago.
Okay.
We don't hang out as often as we used to.
Mhm.
Like, we used to be together all the time. So I was like, maybe he's gotten it together. You know, it's been a while. He's been living at home with his folks. Maybe he has some money stashed up already. You know,
Okay.
maybe he's being smart about stuff. Gave him the benefit of the doubt. So I hit him up. Hey, do you want to move out with me? He was on it. Yes, I can give you this amount of money each month. When we discussed the details, like, okay, can you pitch in for like utilities, this, that. Like we talked out in details. We had a plan.
Okay.
I started looking for places for us. Then my, I guess, boyfriend, because we've been doing a lot better.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah, we're good. We're still working on it, but we're good.
Okay.
He goes, well, if you guys, he was like, I'd be willing to move into a 2-bedroom apartment here where we're currently living, with you and him. So, like, you know, the rent would be a lot cheaper for all three of us. Okay, fair.
Okay.
All right. So I was like, well, I'll put that on the table for him and see what he says. So I go and pick up my friend that day, that we were gonna all like discuss the stuff, and we get like in the car ride, he starts disclosing to me he doesn't want to move anywhere but Jersey City. Like, he's not open to moving anywhere, which I understand because of like transportation and like
Right.
that's why he mainly hangs out with his friends. Like, he's into music, making music.
Okay.
He's like the engineer or whatever.
Got you.
So
his accessibility to go back and forth to the city.
right.
City.
I want to stay in the Bayonne area,
Okay.
but I'm willing to move to Jersey City, just not the area he wants to be in because it's just
Gotcha.
very cluttered.
Okay.
It's like, I don't know if you're familiar with Jersey City, but it's like the Heights area plus like the border of Union City area. It's very cluttered in that area.
Okay.
So I didn't like for parking. Like, I just think about all like the practical stuff. Parking is gonna be terrible. Like, just a lot of people in general, and then the commute getting out of that area and onto the highway is just annoying. So I was like, okay. So then he goes and says, I want to move out with my boys. I was like, okay. He was like, yeah, we've been looking into places. We found a couple places. Why don't you move out with us? And I was like, I don't know your boys. One.
How many friends would you guys?
We didn't even actually discuss that. He just
Okay.
said boys, so I'm assuming maybe 2 more people, maybe 3, knowing him. Like I didn't ask for those details yet because I was like,
right,
it already put me off.
Yeah.
Because excuse me, sorry. I was like, I don't know your friends. He's like, well.
Oh, these are not friends that you guys.
I don't know them. I don't know them. So that was like the biggest like
right
moment for me. So I was like, I don't know your friends, first of all. He's like, well, if they weren't good people, I wouldn't like suggest it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, but I like my like space and my quietness. I'm a light sleeper, like. So he's like, his response was like, but I'm a musician, so why would you want to move in with me anyways? I'm like, you know, like I'm trying to help you out.
So how is all of this making you feel when you?
It gets even better.
Okay.
So turns out like he's just not about moving out with me and my boyfriend.
Okay. So option B is no longer.
Right. At that point, it was no longer.
Okay.
So he basically, I want to move out with my boys. I move out with your boys. Cool.
Oh, so let me just make sure that I'm hearing this correctly. So you guys went from looking at a place together to your boyfriend offering, well, why don't the 3 of us get a place in the same a building that you're, or the complex that you're in now. He declines both of those and then comes up with the solution that he wants to live with his boys.
Right.
Okay. So how does that make you feel?
I was annoyed because I was like, you know, it was annoying because for me personally to even consider moving out with him took a lot from me.
Right.
Because I know him. Like, I love him to death, but I just know what kind of person he is. Very disorganized, just a lot going on.
How would that look as a roommate, though?
He's not dirty.
No.
He's just...
Because it's coming across, or what I'm hearing you say is, he's a little bit irresponsible.
He is, and that's why I didn't even consider him at all when I first realized, like, I have to find my own place.
Right.
So, I just thought about it more, and I was like, all right, let me give him the benefit of the doubt that maybe he's gotten it together.
Okay.
So
some time had gone past.
Right.
I got you. Okay.
So I'm just trying to, I was just like, all right, maybe he's not Jorge anymore. And the best way to understand, explain that.
Good old Jorge.
Right. So that right there was like, all right, you're still being Jorge. Then he texted me the other day and goes, I thought about it and I think I want to take you and Quinn up on that offer. I was like,
so he no longer wants to live with his friends.
Right.
And now that option B is back on the table.
He goes,
or is he considering it?
He was like, I'm considering taking you guys up on your offer. And that was the first thing I saw when I woke up that day. And I was just like, nope. Just nope. I put the phone down. Like,
good.
I woke up and I was like, this is too early for this nonsense
right
now. I turned around to my boyfriend and was like, read this. Like, look at this.
Right.
He was like, really? Like, really? He like,
yeah.
I was like, I'm not even going to answer this now.
But he had already told you and your boyfriend. No.
Right. So now me and my boyfriend have come to terms with he wants to move back home.
Okay.
So he's going to move back home because
the money
and there's another situation with mom.
Okay.
But
to help mom out, and he wants to save up money. Okay.
Right.
So we're back at this.
So we know that's what we're doing. I'm finding a place. He's going back home, and he's going to help me with rent.
Okay. So option B is no longer on the table for neither one of you.
Right. So now he comes and texts me this, and I'm just like, really? Like, you had your chance to move out with us and be comfortable. Like, me and my boyfriend, like, we are on it when it comes to bills, food. Like, we don't struggle with that.
3 ways, and it would be a set bill.
Right. It would be even easier.
Mm-hmm.
So he would have been set with us. Like, yeah, it might have been a little bit out of his way, but I even told him, I was like, yo, if you even move out with us, I'll get you a bus card, bro. Like, I'll get you a light rail ticket, like, just to help you out.
What would that look like for the relationship, though?
What do you mean?
If Jorge were to come live with you guys, even though, you know, just hypothetically, if he were to come to stay with you, and he started to get into his irresponsible ways, do you think that would cause some sort of stress between the three of you?
Yes, it would.
But also heightened maybe some things that you guys are working on.
Right. So my boyfriend even bringing that up was like, you know, I was surprised.
Right.
Because I know how my boyfriend is and I know how Jorge is, and they get along. They do. But I know
not
certain things,
living situation,
right, will like be issues. So I just kind of went like just put it out on the table, and just to see where it was gonna go, and it fell through. You know, he said he doesn't want to do that, so okay, fine. So then that whole text message talking about that I'm considering it, and it just put me through the roof. Like I was just angry. Like I was just angry because it was just like,
we offer this opportunity to you and you're not.
And it's not even like the whole opportunity thing. Like, it's more of just like, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt to even consider moving out with you with our history and knowing how you are. And it comes down to, can I even rely on you at this point? And like, I had to take a moment and figure out what I was going to say to him, because I was like, if I answer him now, I'm going to say some crazy stuff. Yeah. So it was just too early for it, so I let it sit for a little bit, and I was just like, all right. When I finally responded, I was like, I'm going to get back to you on this. I'm going to discuss this with Quinn, and I'll let you know where he stands on this, because I don't think this option's on the table anymore for him. So let me talk to him first.
Let me stop you right there. I want to applaud you for taking the time out to say, I'm not dealing with this right now. I can't, my mind is not in a space where I can think clearly.
Thank you.
But I want to understand why you put it off on Quinn and not that it wasn't an option for you and that.
It was giving me more of a chance to figure out what to say to him, honestly. Personally, because I knew where I stood on it already. Like, I was just like, it was just like, okay, I need to answer him. Right. So he knows that I'm, like, acknowledging the situation.
So that you're not, blowing him off or anything like that.
And
of course
then,
not.
Just to see, like, to what he would say, because he already knew, too. And, like, it was like, all right, so, like, I knew what his answer was going to be. So it wasn't even, like, a discussion. Right. It was just more of, like, I need to communicate with him just to process what's going on, because I didn't know how to respond and not, like, freak out on him. Right. So when I came back to him, it was like, okay, so, yeah, he wants to move out with us again. And, honestly, like, I know where you stand. Like, I know where this, and just like, he's like, and then he took the words out of my mouth, and he's just like, how are you going to rely on him? Like, he went from moving out to you to now moving out to you to now being back to being moving out with you. So it's like, he's flip-flopping on you. Right. And I was like, exactly, like, he took the words out of my mouth. Right. So it wasn't more of a, like, putting the choice on him. It was just like, all right, processing the situation. Okay, I'm really glad that you clarified that for me, because that's where there became a little bit of a disconnect. Due to the fact that all of this that you're saying, your energy is saying, no, I don't want to do this anymore. I thought this was a good idea, but there are way too many red flags. So for you and your boyfriend to kind of have a conversation about it, to give you some time to think about how to
communicate that no, I don't want to do this anymore, I think that that's a really, really smart decision, and I'm really, really proud of you for saying, yeah, I really don't want to do this, but I need to be able to say it without coming across like...
Right, because I know how I am.
Right.
And I'm very blunt.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, all right, let me not make this into a situation.
Right. Because
So,
ultimately that's not what you want. Like, you know, he's a friend of yours, but
right.
we just don't need to live together.
And I constantly have a frustration with him.
Okay.
With the sense where, like, I've had issues in the past with him when it comes to him being on time and just certain, like, he moves in Jorge's world, and he doesn't seem to consider things around him a lot of the times, and it's like, you can't expect the world to make moves the way you want them to make moves, because that's just inconsiderate and
right.
not where everyone is at. Like, you can't just do certain things and just expect it to be that. Right. And it's just like, it was just like a trigger, because it was just like, okay, Jorge, you're doing your Jorge thing again. Like, you know? And I texted him and I was like, listen, he's not about moving out with you, like, with us. And honestly, can I even rely on you at this point? Like, I don't feel like I can rely on you. You went from wanting to move out with me to your boys, and now this. So he kind of gave me a snippy response to it, and he was like, oh, thanks for letting me know. Don't worry about it. I'll get a place on my own. So I was like, oh, wow.
What I'm hearing you say is, in making the decision, right, you know, we thought about it, he doesn't work for him, and the way that this has been working, it doesn't really seem like this would be a good fit. I want to ask, why at that moment didn't you say that this isn't something that I am willing to do anymore? Is that because are you worried about his response and him being kind of nasty, like have like a nasty response if you were to say like, Jorge, I just don't think that we should move in together. Like, I just don't think that, I thought it was a great idea in the beginning, but with what you were saying as far as your work schedule and the location as to where you need to live, that's just not conducive to what I need at this moment. What do you think Jorge's response would have been had you have said that?
I think either way, regardless of him being upset about my thing or not, he would eventually like respect it. Okay. Because I called him out on it. I was like, wow, like, you know, I'm just being honest with you. Like, you don't need to be snippy about it. Okay. I was like, oh, I didn't mean to be snippy. You know, like, okay. He was just like, I'm being serious. Like, thank you for letting me know now. And right. Later, like, I'm just gonna go look for this myself. And I was like, okay. So,
what'd you feel after that? When after he,
I felt like he was mad at me, honestly, and I was just like, I kind of just left it at that. Cause
why did you think that he was mad at you?
I just like, I spent so much time with him, you know, and sometimes you could just know
when someone's not happy,
and it's just more of like, all right, I'm gonna just give him time to get over it, because it's just not gonna work out. It really isn't gonna work out. Right. And
I'm really happy that you recognized that, and you saw the warning signs, and you acknowledged that, you know what, this just really isn't gonna work out, and you stuck to your guns, and you're saying just no. But it sounds like Jorge is, he sounds like he's a good friend. Like, after all of, the things that you're telling me, he ultimately, wants you to be happy and doesn't want to, like, this friendship not to continue.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, like I said, I just wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. You know what I mean? Like, I know, like, his home situation is not the best, and, like, I was like, alright, it would be easier, too, with rent, just have a second income and
What
everything.
about you, though?
Right.
You're in school, you're working,
and that's other things that, just, like, you know, him, that whole flip-floppiness made me reconsider everything, because it's just, like, I gave you the benefit of the doubt, and before we even got into it, you're already doing the bullshit. Like, it's we're not even living together.
Right.
So it's like, what's gonna happen when we move in together? We have opposite schedules. He's up all night. He's gonna want his friends over. And, like, if I don't know you, I'm very standoffish. And, like I said, I'm very blunt. So sometimes I just come off very abrasive.
Right.
So I think about, like, okay, so if they're not leaving by a certain time, I'm gonna say something. It's my home. But at the same time, it's like, it's his home. So it's just like, I thought about everything. Like, it just made me reevaluate the whole situation. I'm just like...
So now where are we? What decision did we decide?
It's just not gonna work.
Okay. So.
And I'm just still looking for apartments on myself. Because I was gonna see an apartment Sunday, but the person rescheduled on me.
Okay.
So, you know, I'm just looking for places, keeping my options open when it comes to places, because I've even looked outside of Bayonne just to see, because it's so much cheaper everywhere else.
Right.
So, just looking around, see what I can do. It's just annoying because people seem to not want to rent to you because you contact them and they don't answer. So it's just more dealing with finding someone to actually respond.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna continue with finding a place for myself, and I would prefer it to be local,
right,
to my boyfriend, because I know what he's going through right now too. Like, so his mom, they found a tumor, and this is not the first tumor they found, but the other ones were benign.
Okay.
So she's been getting seizures, or what's the other one called? The worst one. I forgot. Jesus. Oh my God, I can't think of the word right now.
I'm so sorry.
Stroke.
I was getting ready to say that, but yes. I was hoping that that's not it.
She's getting like mini strokes. They're not severe, but there has been damage already done. So the concern is now that she may have possibly cancer.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, and I know how that feels to find out someone has that, or possibly like in the process of finding out.
Right.
So it's just like, it's a stressful situation, and our relationship has gotten a lot better.
Well,
it really
good.
has. So
you want to stay local, keep
like
on
just keep
on
working with us and being support.
Mm-hmm.
Because even if we don't work out, this is a hard thing to deal with.
Yeah.
And he was there for me for my cousin. And like, you know, like the whole process, like finding out.
It's hard. It really is, and it sounds like even if you guys weren't going to be together, boyfriend and girlfriend,
I would want to be that support for him.
That friendship is very much an important factor in both of your lives. Like, he doesn't seem that he wants to not be with you, around you, or be able to to have that connection with you, and you don't seem to want to not have him not in your life and not to have that connection with him either. So if this is something, going back to what we talked about last week, if this is something that works for the both of you guys, and living apart but then living in the same town where that you guys can support one another when you can, and it's not so much of a daily thing,
right?
And like you said, and you feel happy, and you look a whole lot better. Your spirits are high. You're smiling a lot. This time, which I'm really happy to see. Is it something that you're possibly considering, to find something to kind of stay close by, so that your routine kind of doesn't really have to change with him?
I've been looking. It's just more again of people answering me.
Right.
And just like the price ranges, like. Oh my God, Hudson County is the worst. and you find something cheap, and it's like a little studio with no space, like the size of this room probably.
Yeah.
And they want to charge you over $1,000
for 4 walls.
Right. So it's like, yes, I'm gonna have help. I mean, I'm hoping that I get this promotion at my job, so I don't need his help.
Right.
So that'd be great, because I don't have to worry about, like, hey, I need this amount of money for rent.
Right.
So if this pans out, if I get the promotion, I don't even need to worry about, like, paying bills. I can pay my own bills. You know what I mean? So, and I know he's still gonna want to help me, but it's just my own personal thing. You know what I mean? Like, I got this by myself. I don't need you.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, but I got this.
Right. So, I'm just taking it day by day right now, because when I think about it all at once, my anxiety goes through the roof. I just like get overwhelmed, and then like depression hits, and then you're just sitting at home doing nothing, watching like 5 seasons of Supernatural in a couple days.
I mean, it sounds like you're handling everything. You know, it sounds like you're handling everything well. You're tackling things as they come, and if things don't work out and it doesn't benefit you, then, you know, you're finding your voices saying, I really don't think that this is going to be a good idea, or this isn't something that I can do, and I can feel comfortable saying a yes to you. And I'm really, really just overjoyed over the work that you've done, and, you know, seeing you from the beginning to now, that you're just like this confident, driven woman, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Thank you.
I'm loving it.
I decided to take an impulsive trip too, just to like get away from all
Where
this.
are you going?
I'm surprising my parents actually. Yes, I'm gonna surprise my folks. They don't know I'm coming. Only 2 of my cousins know. So my cousins, first it turned into like, my cousin's like, oh, I'm coming to go get my stuff from Pennsylvania. Why don't you drive down with me? First I was like, I don't know, but then I was like, you know, screw it, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
But she wasn't getting it together fast enough. So she was like, oh, I'm going to come this week. And I was like, can you make it this week so I can, like, you know, take the time off and I'll be done with school. She's like, no, I'm really trying to do this week. She ended up not coming this week, though. So she's just like.
So when are you leaving?
Next week, actually.
Oh,
Next
wow.
Saturday, I fly down.
That's exciting.
I didn't even realize until I looked at the calendar today. I was like, oh, the 25th is next week.
Yeah.
So I'm going to surprise my folks, because they've been, like, talking about, oh, we gotta go up and see you, or when can you come down?
Yeah.
So my cousin came up with, my one cousin's gonna get me from the airport, and then my other cousin is gonna tell my folks to come by for like an evening of like food and drinks, because they do that down there, and I'm just gonna show up.
That is amazing.
And that's gonna be like my little early birthday party thing, because my birthday's June 3rd.
Oh,
so
pre-celebration.
Yes, so I'll be down there until June 2nd. So,
that is going to be really, really good.
Yeah,
spend some time with your mom, spend some time with your family. Yeah. That's going to be well needed.
Yeah, they're going to lose their mind.
Are you excited?
Yeah, and this last time I surprised them, like, they almost cried. Well, my mom cried. My mom cried too. But they were just like, so I can't wait to see that face.
That is amazing. Well, I'm really, really proud of you, and I'm just in awe with all the work that you've done, and you seem to got it. And is there anything else that you need from me?
Oh no, just continue doing what I'm doing, and I'll take it one day at a time.
So, what's the action plan when you come back from your vacation?
Well, I'm hoping to get to see places, and if I can set up places for like to be seen when I'm gone by like my boyfriend can go see it for me,
right,
just so I can like get some places
to have like, something to get the ball rolling.
So
I
right
got
now
you.
I have one place set up.
Okay.
So once I see that place, just to see what it looks like, you know, 'cause I'm not gonna just say, hey.
Right.
So it seems like I'm going to end up at that place because it's the only one answering me.
Okay.
But I'm going to keep sending out things. Like, once all my work is done for school, I'm just going to focus strictly on sending emails, making phone calls, and setting up viewing appointments, because I'm running out of time. So.
And when do we have to move?
Within a month. So by the 15th, June 15th, I'm looking to have a place because our lease ends the 28th.
Okay. So
that's the goal. Which
these are.
The more I send out, the more likely I am to get places. So.
And the fact that you gave yourself a earlier deadline than your actual deadline is even better, so that it kind of releases a little bit of the anxiety, so that, you know, if I don't find a place by the 15th and I actually find a place on the 16th or the 17th, you know, you're not nearly as anxious as you would have been.
Right, because I can move my things out earlier than the last day.
Right.
So
you're
trying
preparing.
To go for that. I just try to have that set up because it's just a lot going on. So that's my game plan right now.
But it sounds amazing, and I know that you're gonna do awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.